You could see him progressing on a daily basis. And then he took off in spring ball and even got better. We saw from the first or second practice last fall that he had the ability to snap his wrist and have the velocity and throw the ball down the field. But he had a lot to learn as far as his technique and getting his feet in the right position. And then being able to go through progressions, understand the progression first, and then go through it. And I feel real confident that he's doing that now. You know, we got a lot of really good players back on the defensive front. We did lose a first-round draft pick, and he'll be hard to replace with one guy. So we've got to be able to do it with depth, be able to rotate guys in there, stay fresh, and find a way to rush the passer in the fourth quarter. Offensive front-wise, we got just about everybody back. It was a group last year that was young and inexperienced, started 2 true freshmen. And they're bigger and faster and know more now about the offense. So you'll see a lot of improvement there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lamar Jackson, as talked about by his coach. Now, this guy's kind of a legend in the making here down in Louisville. Before he even came to Louisville, here's the thing. May 2015, and this comes from an article on ESPN about him. Before he'd even gotten to Louisville, he posted a high school highlight reel on Twitter with the caption, "Louisville Takeover, I Promise," accompanied by the hashtag humble. 4 months later, he'd won the Cardinals' starting quarterback job over 3 more experienced competitors. By year's end, he was one of the hottest names in college football, torching Texas A&M in the Music City Bowl, a game he now refers to as his Kodak moment. This kid is really a phenomenal player. He's from Boynton Beach, Florida. Went to Boynton Beach High School, transferred from a small school nearby after his freshman year. His grades were too low to play immediately, so he walked into Coach Rick Swain's office, high school, said, "I'm going to be your starting quarterback." Within a few short weeks, he had actually gotten his grades together. By the next semester, he'd earned straight A's to revive his eligibility, and off and running since then. Here's what Swain said about him. "I've coached a lot of players that have gone on to play in the NFL, but this kid has some intangible things that not many people have." When Louisville coach Bobby Petrino sat at ACC Media Day last month and suggested the Cardinals were a real threat to win the national championship in 2016, it didn't seem like such a lofty goal. He's got Jackson on his side, and from there, anything's possible. So keep an eye on this young guy. He can run the ball. He's really learning how to throw the ball a lot better. And when he masters that, which he seems to be doing down there in camp so far, this kid may be unstoppable. Again, here's what Coach said. We knew how good of an athlete he was. The question was whether he could throw and be a quarterback. It took just 2 practices for Petrino to be convinced he'd found this quarterback. A week of camp last year, Petrino decided Jackson would play as a freshman, and by halftime of Louisville's opener against Auburn, Jackson had won the starting job. "I know I can make any pass," Jackson said, "but I didn't know anything about the playbook." So instead, he would improvise. By year's end, he racked up 1,143 rushing yards, the 4th most of any quarterback in the country. In the season finale, as we discussed against Texas A&M, he ran for 22 times and rushed for 226 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was the easy part, Petrino said. This spring, it was all about kind of getting harnessing his arm and putting the brakes on his legs and focusing on that passing game. So Coach said he'd run, I'd blow the whistle, and he'd get mad at me. He'd say, "But Coach, I could have scored on that play," but he needed to throw the ball. So look for him to really become a passer this year and to really see what he can open up for them. Lamar Jackson 2.0, an upgraded edition of an already impressive piece of machinery. In the Cardinals spring game, he completed 24-29 passes for over 500 yards, and he played just 1 series into the second half. So, folks, again, Lamar Jackson, University of Louisville, quarterback. This is a kid that is really going to be making some big things happen. My feelings was he was going to be a big part of our program, and he needed to go in and learn how to enjoy that. Petrino said of bringing Jackson to the ACC kickoff. He's a guy who likes life. He always has a smile on his face. Everyone gets to see his personality and understand how special a young man he is. Folks, keep an eye out for this kid. Keep an eye out for Louisville. They are going to do big things. Expectations are so high, not just from the outside of the program, but from inside Jackson's own mind. He's heading a team that is picked third in its own division, but Louisville fans believe Jackson can even the playing field with the heavyweights, Florida State and Clemson. So, there he is, Lamar Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Fine young man. All right, let's get back into the chat room. Sports Done Right as we're into the home stretch here on Sports Done Right. 9-0, the wino, my main man 9-0. I want to welcome you. I want to welcome Ms. Queen in here as well. DJ Nunu, everybody, thank you for joining. Appreciate that. Chief Rocker says, how about the quarterback that went to Auburn? He's a freshman. Yeah, we're going to, I'm going to have that in my preview. We'll get into the SEC as well. Grego says Nate Washington, old ass, is on the team too. Him and Nino got a chat going. Let me roll back here. Looks like everybody's saying what's up to the lovely ladies. Grego says nothing's wrong with Edelman. I hope not. And we back. That's about it for the chat. Again, this is the Sports Done Right show. I am Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, giving you all the drops with the lovely sounds of the Minneapolis scene, music in the background there. Thanks for tuning in, and we are in the home stretch. Sports Done Right. Make sure you're following the Gov on Twitter at the Big Smooth 1, the number 1 after the Big Smooth. Make sure you're following me on Facebook at Sports Done Right, WRIGHT, the last name. Make sure you ask for permission to join. We'll okay you, and you can come on up and politic it with us. Big Bama boy. No Auburn talking here. Hey, Bama boy, war damn eagle, sir. War damn eagle. Bo Jackson all up in this bitch. There you go. So, I've just always hated Alabama. I can't even really tell you why. I don't know. I just have. With that being said, let's have a little fun here as we end the show tonight. Again, first off, NFL, Vikings, Bridgewater, looking good. They had the infamous night practice the other night. They really worked on Bridgewater going deep to Adam Thielen, Laquan Treadwell. Man, looking good so far. So look for Bridgewater to really start looking to go downfield this year. The center battle, John Sullivan is back. He's battling with Brandon Fusco. Both of them looking good. Look for Sullivan maybe win that. Moritz Boringer, he was that German kid that got drafted. He may wind up on the practice team. I just don't know if there's enough spots to keep him around. They like where he is considering where he came from. But to get an active roster spot is going to be a big battle for him at this stage. It can happen, but it's really going to take a lot of work for this kid to get an active roster spot here and to keep himself on the Minnesota Vikings team. All right, what else do we got going on with Minnesota? Everything else looking good, man. People feeling good. Injuries, a few guys banged up here and there, but, other than that, man, everything's looking good. Everything's looking good. So we like that. Again, Stephon Diggs looking good. Here we go. We got the actual depth chart here. So here's the thing. Vikings, obviously, we're pretty set. Quarterback, running back, yada, yada. Our wide receivers, Stephon Diggs. Now, Cordell Patterson is injured, so Adam Thielen has stepped into his spot. Charles Johnson, Laquan Treadwell on the other side. You also got Isaac Frichte. He is the local kid out of Minnesota who will look to stay on this team. We talked about Troy Stoudemire, the former Gopher. Now, here's the thing. Michael Pruitt is looking to back up Kyle Rudolph at tight end. So keep an eye on that name there. Other than that, man, everybody else is pretty set as much as last year. The Vikings defense is stacked. The linebacking core is where it's at with this team. And, you got to keep a good eye out there because when you got players like, on the defensive side, Everson Griffin, you got Linval Joseph, Sharif Floyd, Brian Robinson out at left end, man. Vikings looking real, real good. And I can't wait for these guys to start lacing it up and start laying people out because this Viking defense is really going to be making some noise this year. Linebackers, Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks, Chad Greenway, Terrence Newman, backup Trey Wayans, Edmund Robinson. We got some real go-getters out there on the defensive side, man. You got hitman Harrison Smith out there, free safety Andrews Zendejo, Xavier Rhodes, Captain Munnerlin, man, Marcus Sherrill's former Gopher. Vikes looking real good and expecting big things from the NFC North Division champs, baby. Keep it tuned. Angie, the First Lady, right. Teddy is going to bring it this year. Oh, here's Reg. Here we go. Hold on. So, Vince, you want to announce our bet on live radio? Steelers better record than the Vikings. Oh, Reggie. Yeah, we can announce that.
Nobody to love. They got no baby legs. Stand so low. You got to pick them up just to say hello.
Exactly. Yes, Reggie's theme song. But yeah, man, Vikings will definitely, I think, have a better record than Pittsburgh this year. It's going to be close, but I think the Vikings going to edge them out, my brother. And with that being said, your quick little Vikings update. And again, the Gov's going to be having complete football updates over the next couple weeks. We're going to do a fantastic review of my world famous Big Ten preview show here in the next week or two. Same with the NFC North Division preview show as well as the NFL preview. And we're also going to throw in there for my peeps down south. I'll be reviewing some of your teams as well. We're going to take a look at Bama. We're going to take a look at Auburn and Clemson and Georgia Tech and Georgia. So the Gov up here sitting pretty up north, by the way, and it's hot as hell. Feels like a nice Georgia night. But we're going to have it all, man. We're going to have it all. And you know what? We may even take a look at Georgia or North Carolina out there for Jungle Brother as well. All right. So to end the show tonight, again, Vince Wright, sports done right on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. The best and worst college football coaches in close games entering 2016. Now, this is broken down over all the separate conferences. So what I'm going to do here, there's so much information. We're not going to get into it all tonight, but I just wanted to throw some names of coaches out there now, and just kind of, it's a very interesting thing. These are games that have came down to the wire, and, well, have just coaches that have pulled them out in the end. Now, here's a look. Okay, here it is. Here's a look at the top 10 coaches nationally based on the winning percentage in the one-score games. They had to have a minimum of 25 such games coached. So the top coach, Old Dominion's Bobby Wilder, who is 20-7. Urban Meyer from The Ohio State University in one-score games is 34-13. Brian Kelly out at Notre Dame, 78-38-2 in such games. And that's their overall careers, by the way. If you take it at the current school, Urban Meyer is 13-2. Brian Kelly, 22-13 at Notre Dame. Tommy Tuberville is 60-31. 8-5 at his current school, Cincinnati. Les Miles is 46-25 in one-score games, 39-18 at LSU. Kyle Whittingham, the coach at Utah, is 34-19. Dan Mullen down in Mississippi State is 16-9. Gary Patterson, TCU, and doing big things there, is 43-25. Matt Viator, Louisiana Monroe, is 24-14. He's a new coach at Louisiana Monroe. And Mike Gundy out at Oklahoma State is 23-14 in one-score games. So that's the overall. If you break it down by conference, and again, these are current coaches in the SEC. Jim McElwain is 30.